It's completely normal to get yellow hair after you've bleached it, because when we bleach our hair, we're decolorizing the hair. It will go through several stages of decolorization to get to this light or pale yellow color. If you're starting down here super dark, you're going to see it go through red, then to orange, then finally to yellow. So again, completely normal, and the good news is yellow is the easiest color to correct. It's also very similar to how you correct orange. You really have two options. You can lighten it again, or you can put a toner on it. For most people, using a toner is the safest option, so we'll cover that first, but I'll put timestamps in the description box if you want to jump around, or go ahead and skip to the bleaching again or lightening again section. So your hair should look similar to this. As far as lightness and darkness, it's very light, but its tonality is yellow. So a toner won't lighten this up, or the toner I'm about to show you. There are some toners like T18, we'll get into that in a minute, that actually lighten and deposit at the same time. But we have to remember, we have bleached our hair, and you may see physical signs of bleaching. The ends may be fried, frayed. A lot of times you don't want to continue altering the level, lightening, and lightening, or using something like a T18 that's going to lighten and deposit a tone, because our hair just can't handle it. So for a basic toner, we're not changing level, how light or dark this is, we're just correcting or neutralizing tone. We're taking out this yellow tone and neutralizing it, because there's several shades of yellow. You have buttery light yellow, dark golden yellow. We don't all have the same yellow. Choosing the toner that's going to be right for you starts with finding what level your hair is. Hair levels are 1 through 10. 1 is black, 10 is pale yellow, brightest blonde. When we're talking about levels, we're talking about lightness or darkness, not tone. How light or dark is this? Not is this yellow. If you look at this in black and white, you're eliminating tone so you can see it a little better. So this would be about a level 9. Some parts in the bottom are darker that are a level 8. So let's just use level 8 for an example. You're right here. And really, if you're a level 8, you might even see some hints of orange. But we're just gonna say level 8, you have yellow hair. We have level 8 hair, and we're gonna list our tonalities. Yellow. We are here in this yellow area. Colors across from each other neutralize each other out. So if I have yellow hair, I'm gonna use something with violet, kind of like those violet-based shampoos. Same with orange. If I have orange hair, I need something blue or ash to neutralize that out. So putting purple on top of yellow neutralizes it out. It doesn't necessarily make your hair purple. So across from yellow, again, is violet. So I'm looking for a violet hair color, or a violet-based hair color. Demi-permanent colors are most commonly used for toners. A great example is Redken Shades EQ. They're not mixed with a typical 10, 20, 30, 40 volume developer. They're mixed with a processing solution. So this will be mixed with this. Sally's used to carry a Redken Shades EQ dupe that I really enjoyed, but they don't carry this anymore, at least the one that I go to. If you can find this, this is what I would suggest to use for this process. Sally's just didn't have many demi-permanent options, so we're gonna tone this with permanent color. But we're going to use a lower volume developer, 10, maybe even a 5, so it's safer on the hair. We don't want to really alter the structure of the hair anymore. We've already lightened it so much, I don't wanna put anything in it that would bust open the cuticle and do a lot of chemical changes. We're really just looking to deposit color on top, just like a demi-permanent. But if we use a permanent color with a lower volume, it will mimic a demi-permanent. That's a lot of information. If that doesn't make sense, don't worry about it. So back to this, again, we're looking for a violet hair color. You can just bring down this 8, put an 8V on top of this, like this color by Ion, 8V. When you're looking at hair color at Sally's or wherever you're at, it will have a number and a letter. The number usually comes first. In this case, it's 8. That's telling you that's a level 8. And then it's followed by a letter. This is V for violet or purple. So it's saying this is a level 8 hair color. How light or dark it is, it's a very light hair color with a tonality of purple. I prefer to go up a level. So 8 goes to 9. So we're looking for a 9V when we go hair color shopping. 9V, level 9, very light hair color, and it has a tonality of violet or purple. This is a cream permanent color. I'm gonna use the bowl to measure this, but it is equal parts. So if you do a tablespoon of color, you're gonna do a tablespoon of developer, and we're using 10 volume. You do not want to use anything other than 10. Equal parts of that, and I want to dilute this developer a little bit to make it more like a demi-permanent color, so I'm gonna add some water. You do not have to do that, it's just going to weaken the formula. Stronger is not always better when we're talking about super blonde hair. To apply this, it's super simple. You literally just slap it on as quick as possible. Normally you would do a toner right after you bleach, a bleach and tone. So you bleach your hair or lighten it, shampoo it, towel dry it out, and apply the toner. So this does go on towel dried hair. You're just taking thin sections and applying the color. The processing time is about 10 to 15 minutes. For typical permanent hair color, it would be 30 to 35. But remember, we're just looking to add in this tone. So we don't need the full 30, 35 minutes. We're not changing levels, we're just correcting tone. 10 to 15 minutes, and that's the same if you're using demi-permanent hair color, like Redken Shades EQ. So I know this can be a lot of information. Honestly, it is kind of hard to pack all this into a shorter video. But basically what I'm trying to say is any permanent hair color can be a toner. You dilute the developer down, 10, 5 volume, 10, add water. You apply it on towel dried hair. Normally you apply permanent color on dry hair, and you cut the processing time in half. So you're breaking a lot of the rules of permanent hair color, but they're perfectly fine to use as toners. Another option when you're at Sally's, you'll see all these color lines have just straight up toners. T for toner, 6, 8 is the undertone or the tone. I believe 6 is violet and 8 is pearl or blue. I could be wrong about that though, I'm not really sure. But the swatch here, it's a violet. You mix these with 10 volume, and I believe it's a 1:2 ratio. Yes, so 1 part color, 2 parts developer. Apply on towel dried hair, 10 to 20 minutes. You're only gonna get the best results if your hair is a level 10. So we're talking very platinum. If you deposit this on a 9 or an 8, yes, it's going to color correct some of these tones. It's going to get rid of the yellow, maybe a little bit of orange, but it's a very pigmented color. So for that, these are not my favorite unless you have that really hard to get platinum blonde, almost white hair. If you use these, and any toners in general, sometimes it will leave a pigmented color. You'll have hints of violet, hints of blue in your hair, where again, the porosity was a little bit uneven and it soaked up that color. Don't panic now that you've got the opposite problem. You had yellow hair, now you have purple hair. It will eventually fade out. A lot of people use T18 like this. This is mixed in a 1:2 ratio, so 1 part of this to 2 parts of 20 volume developer. I actually like this toner if you're a solid blonde. For me, it wouldn't be a good fit because you're using 20 volume developer, so it's lifting and toning at the same time. It's going to lift these darker parts of my hair, whereas this toner, the 10 volume or 5 volume, is deposit only. It's not going to do any lifting, so it's not going to change my hair color. T18, T20, I think they have like a T16, I don't know, is really only good if you're solid blonde, and again, you're super platinum. She has a couple more minutes. While we wait, we can talk about option 2. Option 2, if you have super yellow hair and you're trying to get to that platinum white blonde, your option is going to be to lighten it again, if your hair can handle it. To get to platinum blonde takes time. Realistically, you're going to a very almost unnatural look. You're going a little past Pellis yellow, which is white, the absence of tone. It is very hard to achieve that while maintaining healthy hair, but it absolutely can be done. It's just best to do it in chunks. If my hair is here, I'm gonna lighten it to here and live with this for a while. Then in a couple weeks, I'm gonna go here. Then in a couple weeks, I'm gonna go here. And then if my hair looks okay, I can go beyond that. Because we do want to have healthy hair. Your hair is not really serving you a purpose if you get it the color you want, but it's mushy when you wash it and you can't even get a comb through it. So if you are going to lighten it again, I would strongly suggest waiting as much time as possible to give your hair a break. Putting on a conditioning mask, olive oil, coconut, some sort of fat back in the hair. Fat, proteins if you can. And when you relighten it, you're only targeting the yellow. Most of the times you're gonna have hot roots, or the roots are gonna be very bright. And that happens because our scalp is radiating heat. It's hot, so it makes the lightener process faster. So a lot of times the roots and the ends process faster because they're already porous, they've been exposed, they're the oldest. They will be bright, bright blonde, but the mid shaft, the middle, will be golden. So you just want to target those areas, or if your whole head needs a relighten, just like we talked about for orange hair, you're going to go through and do the mid shaft. So you're doing the middle of the hair all over. Then once you're done with that, you're gonna go back and quickly do the roots, run it through the ends. With a lightener, I would suggest 10 volume, a low and slow method just to break up that pigment. Now you're still going to need a toner. Well, I don't know that. Everybody's different, but most of the time you will need a toner. We can't really escape that yellow phase. But if you get to a level 10, toning is very easy. You can use any toner, 10V, 10P to give it a nice pearly titanium gray look. You can use this and get a really nice result. You could even use something like this, pastel colors. This is Pravana. It's going to tell you on the box what level your hair needs to be for this to even work. It only works on level 10. It's a direct dye color, just like Exmondo. This is really nice as a toner, but again, only gonna work if you have level 10 super bright hair. Leave this on for a couple minutes and you'll get that perfect icy white. Here's what it looks like. It is a little too cool in my opinion. I should have left it on a little bit longer, so maybe 8 minutes. This was about 15, which is a little bit too long. Remember, this is going to fade out, but it is really pretty. I'm just being super picky. So again, this is with the 9V permanent color because our starting level was in some parts an 8, some parts a 9. We did a 9 so it wouldn't darken the hair, make this look any darker. Now remember, if you're wanting to get that platinum icy white, it needs to be a level 10. So there's no way she was gonna get platinum unless I lightened her again, and her hair, I've lightened this mannequin so many times, I don't think it's gonna do it. I know that's a lot, but don't stress. Everything in hair can usually be corrected, and hair is meant to be fun. So try to enjoy the process, and we learn in hair just like everything else in life. You learn by making huge mistakes. Not that yellow is a mistake. Yellow happens on purpose. It's intentional. You're going to get yellow if you're going through the lightening stages. But I guess, I mean, as far as the toning, it may be a little too dark, like mine. I think it's too dark, but I do wish I would have rinsed this out a little bit earlier, and that's all we can do. Next time I'll rinse it out at 10 minutes. I'll quit yapping and stop what I'm doing and rinse it out.